Alan, thank you so much for being with us today at the Restart IL Economy Conference here in London. Tell us a bit about yourself and about Launchbay Investments, and if you can also detail a bit about why you have offices here in London and in Tel Aviv. What brought about that decision?
Yeah, so Launchbay Capital is a multi-stage tech investment firm. We have a fund which invests in the early stage, AI, fintech, B2B SaaS, and a fund which does secondary and provides liquidity for the larger growth equity companies. Why London and Tel Aviv? I think historically our first investment were Israeli companies, and our first office was in Tel Aviv. And as I'm based in London, shortly opened the London office out of there. And there are kind of key differences between this and key technologies, which I can state a little bit later about. But there's very strategic positioning for the London office has been a fintech hub, and the Tel Aviv office being a B2B SaaS and a deeper tech hub.
I understand. So you mentioned differences between Tel Aviv and London, between Israel and the UK. What are those differences when it comes to the high-tech ecosystem?
I think the Israeli ecosystem is very much built around technology and engineering and a deeper tech in its essence, whereas the London ecosystem or the UK in general, not all of it, but I'm talking on the fintech side, is more built around the knowledge of finance. This been a very financial capital. And we see a lot of synergy between the two. If you put a deep engineering tech, which you've got the Israeli, and the software which comes out, this, and put the financial knowledge, which is a lot of the startups here have around deeper product knowledge, capital markets, something which is very much in the heart of London.
I understand. And we look now at the investment environment, the investment ecosystem, and there are definitely a lot of challenges. What would you say are the main challenges that are facing now coming to investments, looking for investments? What are the challenges that you identify?
So if we look a little bit on the global VC challenges, you'll be surprised to know it's not the early stage funding, because everybody keeps on talking. I think from Israeli ecosystem, that's the main, clearly considering the current events also. But globally, there is a lot of people writing very early checks. They're small, and that funding is actually doing well. The biggest challenge that we see is actually liquidity. Time to IPO became long. Funds cannot cash out. LPs do not see real returns. They see what they paper returns. And that's a big challenge where you had an average time of your 7-8 years is now probably 12 to 15, to be honest. So liquidity becomes a big factor, and it doesn't allow for capital and VC to recycle as efficiently as it was prior to 21 bubble.
I understand. Well, there's a lot of talk about AI also today here, when we have an investment room about AI, and Israel definitely is a powerhouse when it comes to AI. But when you look into the near future, you look at AI, you look at fintech, how does that influence strategies of investment or investment in general?
So in fintech, we are on the third wave of evolution. First one, we took it to the internet and we make it a little more digital. It's the internet banking. It's every bank now at their internet website. Then everything mobile, Revolut, Monzo of the world from the UK, Chime, and this became a digital bank. So the second wave was mobile. Third wave is purely AI. Purely AI driven, where a lot of decisions, advisory, wealth decision, allocation decisions are driven by AI. The fintech, the really wonderful thing about it, how it's different from almost this, you don't have a physical product. Where you've got the offline component, that's very difficult to implement tech and AI and everything, because there is a real world. In fintech, when you actually cut through, there is almost no real world. Money is digital. So AI is in the deep of the revolution of every single financial product right now.
And that brings about investment opportunities, in your opinion?
Absolutely. It also brings, I think, both of our offices' strengths, because AI, be it video generative text, doesn't matter what it is, really couple a lot from Israeli deeper engineering skills. You still need to know the financial knowledge, the regulation, which comes a lot out of the traditional UK and London office.
And Launchbay has a leg in both, as you said, to begin with. So that's one of your leading advantages. Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us, and thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you for your time.